All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And yeah, I just wanted to do this lesson, thinking out loud, and I was meditating on just the thought of how we're finally, at this point, pretty much after all these years and all these generations, the time we're in right now, currently 2022, as we know it as, about to go into 2023. All right, and the events that are currently unfolding and the events that are yet to unfold in these times were things that were foreseen thousands of years ago. Okay, and imagine the faith and the patience that it took for our forefathers, for example, Abraham, Jacob, the various men of old, the prophets, even up until the time of Yahushua, all right, to have been told this promise, okay, of this kingdom, this beautiful, marvelous kingdom, peace and joy and all of these things, and not know exactly when it's going to be. You know that the Lord said he's going to come back, but we've been waiting all these years. And we're finally at that point, okay, where we're seeing these signs that the Lord gave us all those years ago, foretelling his return. Okay, and knowing that, we got to understand that this is the last time. Okay, there's not gonna be another regeneration cycle, or where the prophets are gonna, have to come back and all these things. That's no more. Okay, this is the last time that we're gonna come back again. Lord willing, we be of the elect. This is the last incarnation. The scriptures talk about the bodies, okay, being changed. The Apostle Paul mentioned it, right? In the book of 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, all right, right around the 50th verse on down, he mentions how in the twinkling of an eye we shall be changed. And also the Apostle John mentioned it, I believe in the book of 1 John, if I'm not mistaken, about how we don't know what we're going to be like, but we know that once we see Yahushua, we're going to be like him. Okay, he's going to change these bodies that we're in, and that's actually a part of prophecy. Okay, it's in there, it's written in there that upon the Lord's, the Messiah's return, we are going to be turned into gods. Psalms 82:6, revamped. Okay, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High. But in this time, we're not going to die like men. In this time, we're going to be perfect, and we're going to get to inherit all the true benefits of being a son of the power. Okay, the whole nation, starting with the elect. Okay, but men, women, and children, we're gonna be living on a different level than everybody else. Okay, in the whole of existence, and that's a very big deal. Okay, that's a very big deal. I've given this example before, but you have certain people that are famous in this time for being a musician or a basketball player, or this, that, and the third. But understand that they're pretty much only famous in their world. What do I mean by that? Well, not everybody's a fan of basketball. Not everybody likes whatever musician or rapper this is. So there's like a player may be known, but he may be known as per the basketball world. What about those that don't even watch basketball? They're gonna be like, who the hell is this guy? So even their glory and their fame and their praises to an extent. All right, but the one in which the Lord is gonna give us, we're gonna be known throughout all of existence. The universe is gonna expand. FYI. Okay, the planet Earth is not gonna be the only place that life is gonna be. And we're gonna be the pioneers of that. We're gonna be the beginning, the founding fathers of that. We're gonna be the first ones to be able to go out of this planet Earth and to the different planets, explore the different areas and locations, and start populating. Yahushua mentioned that. All right, in my Father's house are many mansions. And those mansions are referring on to the different planets, the different places in the universe and all of that we can have access to. Okay? And he said, if it were not so, I would have told you. And he said, what? I go to prepare a place for you. Because when you think about it, those chariots that you see flying, the angels and the chariots and all of that, where do you think they come from? They're interdimensional vehicles. Okay, they can travel between dimensions. How much more between planets? You see them in space. So those are vehicles that are made that can enter and exit and re-enter the Earth's atmosphere, and they can travel between from one planet to another. Okay. So when the time comes, when the Lord, and it's very soon, but when he comes, we're gonna be doing like some real unheard of things. Okay, things that I mean, it's definitely gonna take new bodies. Just imagine, just having a new body in itself. What is that even gonna feel like? Because it's not gonna be just another earthly body. You have body aches, your waist hurts, your tooth aches, your infirmities, you catch a cold, your headaches, demons mess with you, your mind is not clear, your mind is not right. Sometimes you wake up just feeling agitated. All of these things are not gonna have effect on us. Our bodies and our spirit are gonna be in sync. Okay, we're gonna be perfect, literally. All right, perfection at its core, because Yahweh Shai, when he comes back, he's gonna be perfect. So if we're gonna be like him, well, we're gonna be perfect as well. Okay? So now you got a new body, and pretty much there's nothing that's impossible. You can do whatever. And you don't even have to worry about, oh, I hope I'm not going off. You're not gonna go off. You're never gonna go off. You're not gonna be even capable of going off. So that means you're gonna have the freedom to do whatever you want, because whatever you want is gonna amount to righteousness. It's not gonna include wickedness. Because what the Lord said, he's gonna, according to the new covenant, he's gonna put the laws in our inward parts. Okay, meaning that our minds are gonna be programmed the same way you're able, you know how to walk and breathe and do all these things second nature. Well, it's the same way. You're not gonna, nobody in their right mind is gonna get up one day, take a freaking saw and just saw off their hand, just because, oh, whoops, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. Nobody in their right mind is gonna do that. So pretty much that's how it's gonna be like to commit sin. Nobody in their right mind who is gonna wake up, an Israelite that is in the kingdom is gonna wake up and, oh, let me go ahead and, it's gonna be likened on to getting up and going to find a saw to cut off your hand. Nobody in their right mind is gonna do that. Okay? And all these things are coming. So we're finally here at the point where, all that's left. If you want to talk about major prophecies, all that's really left is for them to introduce and mandate this MOTB, and pretty much, because that's what we're really waiting for. And once that happens, everything else is gonna play its course. It's gonna go as it should be. The destruction, all of that is gonna come, and it's gonna come, but the destruction can't come until the MOTB comes out. So sometimes it may feel like a wait. It may feel like, damn, man, I've been talking about this for the longest, or damn, man, we've been waiting for this for a minute and this devil still ain't make his move. But understand that once he makes that move, that's it. So when you realize, damn, on the checklist of prophecy, there's not really that much things left, all right, in terms of prophecy, in order for us to get out of here. When you realize that, you're like, well, you know what, you can have a little bit more patience, and wait, because you know that we're pretty much waiting for the last but one thing, the last trigger, and that's that MOTB, and they're already on their way. What do you think the transition of the of all these central banks to the CBDC? What do you think that's for, or what do you think that's going to lead to? They're leading to the digital world. That means that they're leading to digital wallets, digital forms of payment. Okay. More than likely they'll start with phones, in some shape or form. But they've already told you as they were discussing at the the Davos meeting, the World Economic Forum meeting, that the next, like, the area they're looking at is subdermal. Okay, subdermal technology. Under. They want everything under. They want things to be a part of the people. You know? They don't want, there's no longer outside, no longer external. Everything is gonna be internal now. So what do you think eventually that's gonna lead to? So this thing is huge, man. But the thing about it is we're here. It's not, this isn't, we're not 2,000 years ago seeing the vision that the Apostle John saw, not knowing exactly when it's gonna happen. We're not back in slavery. You know, we don't now need to realize who we already know who we are now. Okay, we've woken up. The Lord has woken us up to who we are. Of course, we have a job to do, but we're back. You know, we're back. We know we're Israelites. We know we're the men of the Lord. We know the name of the Lord. All right, and we know these prophecies. So it's almost like, I mean, we fell away, but we're getting back up and doing exactly what we were doing from the beginning. It's almost like we never left. So what they can see, like if those that are familiar with the movie The Lion King, you can remember when Simba went back to Simba, like the spitting image, and he was shook to the core. He was petrified. All right, he was terrified. All right, he was terrified because he saw that resemblance. And it, you know, you could think of it like, for a split second, Scar felt as though Mufasa had never left. And it's the same thing in the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter. It tells you how these two prophets, which on a high level represents the northern and the southern kingdom, right? The kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel, tormented them. Okay, which are these nations, because they know our history of what happened to them when we were in power. And so when the prophets were around, when we knew we were Israelites, when we knew who our power was. So now that we're coming back to that, to the understanding of who we are and who our power is and all of that, it's almost like we never left. So it's almost like those prophets that tormented them are back again. And that's what they fear most. Why do you think they spent so much money trying to hide and you know, make sure that they had it to the point where they didn't even want you to read and write? The last thing they wanted was for you to not only read and write, but to read and understand the most powerful book on the planet. And now we telling them what they're gonna do. And they know it and they can't do anything about it. So these elites, I mean, yes, they're moving, but they're moving very, very carefully because they're afraid. They know one wrong move, one impatient calculation will really mess their thing up. But I mean, their pride is telling them that if they calculate everything just right, if they do everything just accordingly, that they're gonna be able to overthrow prophecy. They're gonna find a loophole somewhere and be able to make it out. But that's not gonna happen. That's the pride talking. All right, that's why you got the Yuval Noah Hararis and all of them. They're gonna be known slaves. You know how you had in their sense, you know, they remember the Nat Turners and all of that. Well, just like people know names like Nat Turner and, you know, a few other names during that time of slavery, you're going to be known, but in a bad sense. You're going to be known. Okay? Man, shit, I know. They're going to be like, damn, I know I'm an Edomite, but I'm glad I ain't him. I'm glad I'm not him. I'm just another regular slave. Because if I was this nigga, damn, that's what you said in the past life. What's wrong with you? Did you not think that? Did you not consider the latter end of these things? You know, they didn't consider the latter end, but that's okay. All right, so I mean, these are things that you always got to keep in mind. Keep in mind that we're here. We're here. Yeah, your life might be a disaster, or it might not be exactly as you want it to be. There's certain things in life that you may want, that you may not have, certain conditions that are not ideal. But that's why you always have to think of the bigger picture. On the bigger picture, even if it was ideal, it wouldn't matter because this place is temporary. All right, this place is over. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come, and that's what we do. Every time we go out to the highways and byways, we do these lessons. You know, we stay in the spirit. We're showing the Lord that we're seeking a rest to come, because what we're doing is we're laboring and we're working, because this is not our rest. We're constantly praying to the Lord, putting curses upon this place. Now, if this was our rest, why are we putting curses upon this place? You know. So we're constantly beseeching the Lord and showing him, all right, that this isn't where we want to be. And now we're at the point where all these things are manifesting. I mean, if you actually look around you, you can see a large change, a major change from now compared to 10 years ago, now compared to 5 years ago, now compared to 15 years ago. That's a big change. Okay? Look at what the cities have become. And now, obviously, it didn't happen overnight, but you can, if you look back, you can see how bad things have become. Yesterday, I was listening to the news, and somebody was saying, they were asking people, I think in New York, NYC, how safe do they feel on the streets? And damn near everybody said, no, I don't feel safe on the streets. They said, one individual, one Jake, he said, look, I don't feel safe because here it is, somebody can attack me in the streets, and then I could be in jail, I could be in the hospital, and he gets out of jail before I get discharged from the hospital. Because that's how bad it's gotten. And we warned you, because that's a part of prophecy. The cities are going to be troubled, and this is only the beginning of it. Okay, this is only the beginning of it. But the Jacob's trouble, the prophecies that have been prophesied of long time, of old, they're all happening now. We're not guessing. We're not, like Apostle Tahar said. He said, "Lo, if somebody comes up and oh, well, what if you guys are wrong about the MOTB?" We're not wrong, and I definitely agree with that. I second that. We're not wrong, and we're not saying that out of pride. We're not saying that out of overconfidence. We're saying that out of what anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear, even prior to all the technology coming out in this time, just by having faith alone, we believe that this is what it was. Now, with the addition of them openly coming out and showing you the direction things are going in, there's literally no proof to doubt. You don't, if you are trying to say that the MOTB is not what we say it is, you don't have any proof on your side. Okay? Everything is pointing towards this prophecy being, the breakdown of the prophecy is absolutely correct. It's 100% correct. Okay? And everything is pointing to it. And as the elder apostle Ramlov said, now you have a lot, you're gonna start, which you already have, individuals coming out and making it seem as though their stance on the MOTB wasn't as different from ours after all. You know? No, that's not what we said. If you were listening. But yeah, they're gonna make it seem as though no. Because see, when it becomes apparent that okay, for one, you said the MOTB is not what we said it was, right? It's not the Charagma, it's not the C-Hip. So now that the C-Hip is out and about and it's everywhere and everybody's talking about it, what is the C-Hip then? People are gonna ask you, right? Yo, well, we seeing mad people, you know, they bringing this thing out, people are taking it and all. So what is it? You know, well, if it's not, they said it's the MOTB, you said it's not, what is it? Do we take it? Do we not? Oh, well, I mean, at this point. So people are going to have, because it's going to be so obvious that now if you try to deny it, you're going to be openly lying. People are going to see for themselves. People in the world who are not in the truth can see for themselves and tell you, no, this is the MOTB. This is the B system, and this is the MOTB, and this is where it's at. Ezekiel 33 and 33. And then shall they be known, and then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. How and when? When these prophecies come to pass. How do you know a prophet is a true prophet versus a prophet that's a false prophet? When the things they prophesy come to pass, or if they don't come to pass, then you can tell, oh, the Lord didn't send you. You made that up. You were speaking of your own heart, out of your own mind. But when somebody prophesies and it comes to pass, then you know that they were speaking through the spirit and power of the Lord. So you're gonna, you're gonna see it. Okay, it's only a matter of time, but you're gonna see it. But when you think, like I said, when you think about all the things that are actually about to unfold, the wait doesn't even seem so long. Because if you think about like a year, for example, you know, you say, damn man, a year, damn, that's a whole nother year from now. But if you think about, well, what can happen in a year? You mean to tell, like, you mean to tell me America's gonna be destroyed in a year? They're gonna bring the MOT, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. Then all of a sudden, a year's wait doesn't sound so long. You know, it doesn't sound so long after, because you're like, damn, that's a whole lot in just a year. You know, or that's a whole lot to happen in only a year's time from now. You know, so I mean, with that being said, we always have to keep that in mind. That let me see if I can pull some precepts while I'm here. That's why the scriptures say our salvation is nearer than when we believed. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we go based off of what we're seeing and, you know, measuring the times diligently. Okay, but at the end of the day, the Lord has everything set at his appointed time. Sometimes prophecies just shoot at you from out of nowhere, or from what feels like out of nowhere. Now I believe there's a precept in the book of Romans. I believe it's the 13th chapter, 13 and 11. Yep. This is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11, and it's honestly a beautiful thing to be to be able to pick up a Bible and know exactly where to go to get what. You know, you can pick up the book and you understand what's written in the book. You understand where what is what is written, what does it mean, how does it apply, all of these things. The Lord has blessed us with that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be able to do that. And not everybody can do that. Okay? That is a gift from the Lord. Having the faith, but also having the skill. Being skilled in the word of the Lord is a gift. So this is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. It says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. So awake out of sleep, well, what does this mean? This is not talking about actual literal sleep. This is not an alarm clock. All right. The sleep here is referring to being in a docile state of mind, being asleep, not knowing the truth, not knowing who you are, not understanding the times that you're living in. Right? In Matthew, the 25th chapter, when it speaks about the 10 virgins, 5 being wise and 5 being foolish, those represent Israelites. And the 5 that were wise represent the rest, the wise, all right, of the Israelites. Okay. And the 5 that were foolish, well, you know what that represents. But if you notice, it says that when the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. So does that mean that the whole nation of Israel entered a deep sleep, like Sleeping Beauty, for a good 2,000 years and then woke up? No, we were still alive, but we slumbered and slept, meaning that our spiritual minds, our minds to understand and receive this knowledge were closed. Our spiritual eyes were closed. You had some that came close, you know, that did certain things here and there, but on a whole, to have the understanding of the scriptures and who we are and our power, we didn't have that. We lost all of that. That was us being asleep. Because just like somebody in real life, when somebody is asleep, it doesn't matter what you tell them. They can't see. All right. They can hear, but they're not really cognitively actively listening. Okay. And that's the same thing. So as the Apostle Paul is saying here, that the verse 11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. And that's why so many people are waking up to the fact that they're Israelites now, because now is the appointed time for that. It says, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Now remember, the Apostle Peter said, you got to give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. So if our salvation is near, you got to be awake in order to give that diligence. Okay? And remember, this is a one-time. If you miss the ship, that's it. Yeah, you're going to come back as an Israelite, but it's not going to be the same. So verse 12, it says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Because this is the most important thing. This is going to last forever. There's nothing else that's going to be that holds as much weight as this truth, as your impact, as your work, your contribution to this ministry. If anything is going to be recorded that's going to stay, it's going to be this. Yeah, there's certain things that you may have done in your life here and there, but when you read the scriptures, right? And you read of the various accounts of the men of old and the different prophets, even Yahushua and all of them, which accounts of the men of old were really documented in the scriptures? The parts that were contributing to this ministry, the parts that were contributing to the serving of the Lord. Those are the accounts that we have recorded here. Not every detail of a man's life was recorded in the scriptures, but the parts that related to serving the Lord or doing the work of the Lord, or the Lord coming to somebody and waking them up, those are the parts that are recorded in here, because those are the parts that matter. Sometimes you'll see in the word of the Lord came to such and such in the 3rd year of such and such. Well, why? What was he doing the past 2 years? It wasn't telling us. Maybe he went here, maybe he went here, maybe he got a wife here, maybe he got... The scriptures don't tell us when the Apostle Peter got married. You know, where did he meet his wife? What did he do on his honeymoon? Whatever. It doesn't say that, because that doesn't matter. Those are things in your life that don't really hold weight. They don't matter. You do them over and over again in each incarnation. But the things that are recorded are the things that matter, the things that you contribute. When the Lord came and called the disciples, when the disciples were with the Lord, how they prophesied, how the Lord raised them up, you know, all the teachings, them being cast into prison for the ministry, all these things. Romans 15:4, for what was written aforetime was written for our learning. Because of that, the Lord had specific accounts recorded in here. Daniel thrown in the lion's den, but the faith that he had when he was there. You know, the 3 holy children, the faith that they had going through what they went through. These accounts that are important are the ones that are recorded in here. Those are the ones that hold weight. That's what the Lord really cares about. The Lord doesn't care about how you skipped breakfast one day and the next day you wanted pancakes. He doesn't care about that. What the highlight of your day to the Lord is when you are contributing to his work. So that means if you go a whole day and you don't do anything that contributes to the work of the Lord, technically you didn't do anything. Your record for that day is blank. You ain't do shit. Now, if you did wickedness, that's what's going to be on your record. Okay? But what highlights, what pops up on the radar is when you're doing your lesson, or when you're going out there to the highways and byways. Those are the accounts that are going to be recorded. Okay? So this is the most important thing. This truth is what's going to hold weight above everything else. It's what's going to matter. So you want your impact or your contribution to this truth to hold weight as well. You want to contribute as much as you can to this, because this is going to hold that high standard, that high weight. Eating, everybody else eats. Driving a car, everybody else drives cars. You know, pretty much anything you do, everybody else can do it, or already does it, or it does it even better than you. But the one thing that only we can do is push this ministry. We're the only ones that can actually do it. Not anyone can just pick up the book and go out there. No, this is something that only we can do, because the Lord has blessed us with that gift of faith to believe it. He's blessed us with the Spirit. He gave us the talents to go out there and turn them, you know, filter and flip his money and all of these things. Not everybody can do that. So you got to take value in that. Know that when you go out to the highways and byways, it's not that you're missing out on life because you have to be the one that sacrifices your Saturday while everybody else gets to chill. No, they're missing out because they weren't blessed with the ability to come and serve the Lord and the way that you're able to serve him. You got to look at it that way. All right, we're not the ones missing. They're the ones missing out. We're blessed. You know what they say, when something, the fewer something is, or the less of something you have, the more valuable it is. So, Salakia, but going on, Romans 13 and 13, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. And always keep in mind that, look, so what if you don't get to do certain things here in Babylon? It doesn't mean that you're never going to get to do those things. If you have to give up a woman for this truth, it doesn't mean that you'll never be with a woman again. If you have to give up a certain life, you can't be as free. You don't have as much free time to chill and do. But that's okay. In the kingdom, you'll have that. This isn't the last time you get to do something that you have to forsake the ministry for it. For any reason that you may say, all right, I can't be in this truth anymore. I have to go give time and attention to that thing. Is that something that you will never get to do again? No. If it's a car, a house, a job, all these things, I mean, these are not invaluable things that hold weight above the scriptures. No, they're not. So you got to think about it. So, all right, I'm going to give up this truth for, I don't know, a woman that in the kingdom I'm going to have plenty of anyway. You're giving up something more valuable for something that you're still going to get. So it goes on, it says, but put ye on the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. Why? Because if you make provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof, it's going to lead you astray. You need to be focused right now. Okay? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 9. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So if you making provision for it and is deceitful and desperately wicked, if something is desperate, somebody is desperate, all right, that means they're willing to do anything for whatever it is they're desperate for. So if the heart is desperately wicked, it's willing to do anything to get that whatever it is done that it wants. That means you can't trust. The scriptures talk about what is it? There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is death. You can't put all your trust and your weight on your flesh, what you feel, your feelings, because your feelings are gonna lead you to some point where you're gonna go off, because it's desperately wicked. So that means that the heart knows how to justify things in your mind to make it seem as though it's okay to do. If it has to come down to that, people that have addiction problems, okay, it's not just like, okay, well, I just want to stop, so I'm just gonna stop. No, they can't. Their mind makes excuses for it to be okay for them to do it. You know, whether it's through if it gets to the point where the mind cannot make a reasonable excuse to do it, then the mind will resort to just giving you flashbacks of how good it felt to do it. And even though you try to resist it and say you shouldn't, and you give all the good reasons why you shouldn't, it'll just throw feelings at you. Yeah. So what? Yeah. Okay, you shouldn't, but it felt good though, right? Yeah, you remember how it felt? When you grabbed that, you lit that cigarette on, and you pulled all of them toxins into your body. No, don't worry about the fact that they were toxins and poison, whatever. No, it's the inhaling and the exhaling. You remember what that feels like, huh? Yeah. See, some shit like that is what your mind will tell you. And then you're giving all the reasons in your mind that this is not good. I should stay away from this. I shouldn't do this. But your mind is out here showing you, yeah, I know it's not good, but does it feel good? And if it feels good, then it's okay. That's what your mind is going to tell you. This is why you can't trust your mind. You have to trust your spirit. Yeah, you got to trust the spirit, man, because we're at the point now where we're so close to the end that if you risk it, if you risk it and you miss your opportunity and all of that, that is on you. And the water, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, got a nice little parking spot right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of that. All right, but yeah, consider all of these things in your everyday to day life, because remember that the scriptures say that when you come to serve the Lord, you got to prepare your soul for temptation. So we're constantly gonna be tempted. We're constantly gonna be in a battle with ourselves, but you have to keep in mind all of these things that are at risk. Yes, we have something to lose. We have a lot to lose if we give in to this world. Okay, and that's something you always got to keep in mind. So when you're faced with temptation, you got to consider, all right, this is what I'm tempted to do, but at what cost? At what cost? Am I actually gonna risk all of these things with how close we are just because of what? Nah, I ain't doing that. I'm smarter than that. So you gotta consider all of these things, man, because what we've been promised is a greater reward than anything you can ever imagine. And trust me, there's nothing in this world that's worth risking that over. Be grateful that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua called you into this ministry and gave you this opportunity. Not everybody else. We're the ones who got told the secret. We're the ones who are eligible to possibly gain this reward. Imagine somebody that never even got a chance. Imagine somebody that was made a heathen. You see, but you're not a heathen. The Lord gave you the best shot. He made you an Israelite. On top of that, he made you Lord willing, one of the top tiers of the nation of Israel, because you can see and understand this word, you know, and you have the opportunity to give your diligence to show the Lord that, yes, Lord, I want to qualify for this. So, I mean, to pass that up now for whatever reason it is, well, that's a very unfortunate and disappointing story to read about. At least if that's going to be your legacy. But anyway, I'm going to end it off here. Lord willing, that was edifying and exhorting to the elect. We're finally here after all those years, all the prophecies and the visions that were seen afar off. We're here. Okay, and that was us in the past seeing these things afar off. Well, we're finally here. And we're seeing it not afar off, but right in front of our eyes, daily in our actual lives. You know, so as they say, finish strong. Okay, finish strong, you know, and Lord willing, you know, we see each other on the chariots. All right, but with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Until next time.